Okay, so you want to get smart efficiently. We get that.
We do.
Today, we're diving into something really crucial: understanding depression. And maybe more importantly, why getting support is actually a sign of strength.
Yeah, not weakness. That's key.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive, we're pulling out the core insights from our sources on spotting depression and, crucially, how to take that step towards help.
Because there's just so much noise out there, right? Information overload.
Totally.
And our sources today, they hit head-on a really damaging idea about depression.
Okay, let's get right into that then. One of the biggest, I think, roadblocks is this old idea that being depressed means you're somehow flawed or not tough enough.
Right, like a personal failing.
Yeah, but what our source material makes incredibly clear is that depression is absolutely not a sign of weakness. It's just not. It's so important that sinks in. This isn't about, your character. It's a real health issue. It needs real attention.
Exactly, and thinking it is weakness just creates all this unnecessary shame. And, well, that shame is a massive barrier. It literally stops people from getting the help that could actually make a huge difference.
Yeah.
What's interesting is how directly the material tackles this. It's like the foundation we need before we can even talk about recognizing signs.
Right.
The source sort of implies that viewing it as a moral issue ignores all the complex stuff involved: biology, psychology, social factors. Understanding that shift is, well, it's key to taking down the stigma.
And then being able to actually spot the signs, maybe in yourself, maybe in someone else, that's the next really critical piece, isn't it?
Definitely.
Because if you don't know what you're looking for, how do you know it's time to get help? Our sources really hammer this home.
Yeah, the need for awareness.
We're talking about noticing changes, right? Things like a low mood that just won't lift, or losing interest in stuff you normally love.
Oh, big shifts in sleep, maybe appetite, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. These aren't just, a couple of bad days. They can be pointing to something more serious going on.
Which brings up a good point. What kind of support are we actually talking about here?
Good question.
The encouragement in our sources is to reach out to both professionals and your own network: friends, family, people you trust.
Ah, okay. So it's not one or the other.
No, it's not either. Both are really vital, and the material kind of suggests that intervening early...
Because you recognize those signs.
Exactly, because you recognize the signs and reached out, that can seriously improve the outcome. That's a crucial takeaway if you're noticing changes.
Right. And it's worth remembering that professional help and, support from loved ones, they offer different things, but both are incredibly valuable.
Different benefits.
Professionals, they can give you a structured diagnosis, figure out a treatment plan that's right for you.
Sure, the clinical side.
While your personal network, they offer that emotional validation, that sense of connection, which is just huge for feeling okay overall.
Absolutely. And if you tie this all together, the fact that the sources encourage both kinds of support really highlights how complex depression is.
Yeah, multifaceted.
And that a whole range of resources can actually help. Now, the source doesn't list specific treatments, but it's worth saying that professional help could mean therapy, maybe medication, tailored to what someone needs.
Okay, so, boiling it down.
Yeah.
What's the core message?
Well,
It feels like it starts with knocking down that barrier, that idea that depression is some kind of personal failing.
definitely step one.
Them becoming more aware, more tuned into the possible signs in ourselves or people we care about.
Right, active awareness.
And finally, just really understanding how valuable it is to seek support, whether that's, calling a therapist or just opening up to a friend.
Both are valid.
Our sources are really clear. Both paths are.
Precisely. And by stressing both professional and personal support, the material acknowledges that managing depression, well, it often takes a team effort, building that network of care.
So, to wrap it up, depression isn't weakness. Seeing the signs is vital. And reaching out for help from pros, from loved ones, that is strength.
Absolutely. Which leaves a really important question for you, the listener. How much do you proactively think about your own mental well-being? And, how comfortable would you actually feel encouraging yourself or maybe someone you care about to seek help if it was needed? Something to reflect on.